It's Celia.
Got it. Welcome to another episode of Moving Forward Talk with Diana. Today we have Miss Celia Paige, and she will be sharing her motivational story, her success story to motivate others. The purpose of this platform is to motivate others to become more proactive in shaping their future without putting limitation on their capability to do so. Miss Celia, thank you for participating in this platform.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Yes, it is such a passion of mine to use life stories, successful life stories to motivate others. Before we go any further, please tell us about your background, childhood, family dynamic, something about your background so everyone can understand that you didn't just happen to arrive where you at overnight.
Oh, but of course. Again, my name is Celia Paige, and I am from a small city in South Florida called Belgrade, Florida. I am the youngest of 10 children.
Wow.
I always been a little bit different than everybody else. I said my mom waited to the last minute to have me. So it's 9 years between my brother and myself.
Mm-hmm.
I always had a mindset of being an entrepreneur. And I think my father planted it in me because my dad used to always talk to me about having your own and how important your education is. And I grew up very poor. We didn't have much money or anything like that. I can honestly say I remember having just 3 pair of pants, one black, one brown, and one blue. And we had, I just interchanged my shirts with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I was happy, and I came from a happy home and a spirit-filled home. So that was a lot to help get me through some of the tough times. And my dad always just told us that we were special. So I felt I can conquer the world because Daddy said I could.
Oh, it's just planting that seed. It's amazing, what planting one seed in our children's ears can do. It is just amazing, especially when they accept that seed and they recognize who they are, who they belong to. It's such an amazing thing. Okay.
Yes.
What inspired you to own multiple businesses, and how did you accomplish that?
Again, I'm going back to my dad, my
Yeah.
superhero. Because my dad always told me growing up, he always said, baby, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't ever put all your eggs in one basket. So, and I listened to that. I wasn't quite sure what he meant by it, but as I got older, and just an insight and saying all your eggs in one basket, as I said, I grew up poor, but we actually had a chicken coop. So I used to have to go out to get the eggs. So I just learned as I grew up. I mean, you could look at the times right now where people, even before COVID-19, have been getting laid off. So I learned that you don't put everything in one place. What if you get laid off? How was I going to take care of my family? So my dad was a big part of me not putting all my eggs, per se, in one basket and making sure I had another means to take care of myself and my family. And most importantly, another part besides my dad is my kids. I grew up where it always said, like in Proverbs 13:22, I think, where it says you have to leave an inheritance for your children.
Right.
So I have 3 kids. So multiple business was for me to be able to leave something to each child. So that's why I have like my travel business, which I'm leaving to my son. And I have my school, which I'm leaving to one daughter. And then I have, boutique, which I'm leaving to another daughter. So that stuck with me, to leave something for your children. I don't want my kids to have to struggle and fight, but I want them to understand the struggle that I went through to get where I am, so they won't take it for granted and they will really appreciate it. But most importantly, just my faith of leaving an inheritance for my kids. And that's what really inspired me to have more than one business.
Awesome. Now you have more than one businesses, and you did mention them. Now talk about a little bit about your academy.
Devine Academy. Now, that's my baby. I am, how when you go through life and you're trying to figure out what is your purpose or your calling, And sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. Children are my calling. And I've been in the educational field since 1987.
Mhm.
Devine Academy is a private Christian performing arts school. And we cater to, right now is K through 8th, starting in the next school term in August. As my 8th graders are going to 9th grade, we're going to be catering K through 12.
Okay.
And what we offer is, we do offer the regular curriculum where they do get their math and their science and things of that nature, but we also offer that extra piece where they get dance and they get music, you know, the performing arts piece, as well as STEM.
Okay.
And I noticed in the educational arena that those things were starting to be missing in the school system. I don't know how old you are, but when I grew up, we had those things in school, you know, as an elective. We had home ec and we had all the different things that we can go to. But now, just in the public school, you know, they're so focused on test driven. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, testing a child, but every child is not a good test taker.
Right.
So we're so focused on that, but we're not focused on their learning style. There are more than one learning style. Students some learn just by seeing, some learn by hearing, some learn by they gotta touch it. It gotta be kinesthetic.
Right.
And when you just focus on one way for a child just to give them a test, you're missing about 67% of your population of students. If not more, exactly. So Devine Academy came from there, just as it is a divine intervention, a divine way to teach our kids who need that little extra, where the class sizes are smaller, where they can get that one-on-one attention, where they don't have to sit in a chair all day long. If they need to sit on, I have exercise balls. If they need to sit on the exercise ball, then that's just exactly what they can do, as long as they're getting their work done.
Awesome.
I mean, we get on the floor, whatever we need to help them get to where they need to be. And I start them at their level, find out where they are, and I help them progress to the level where they should be.
And I must interject and say this. I'm glad you say you'll find out where they are, because one of the best strategic plan in helping someone is to find out where they are and meet them there.
Yes.
Right. We don't expect them to be in the same level as everyone else. So we have to find out where they are, meet them there, and assist them to get to that second level, to that third level, until they get to exactly where they need to be.
Where they should be, or even above the bar. You know, you
Right.
set the bar,
Mhm.
and don't set it too high where they feel uncomfortable, like as if they're not going to ever get it. You know, and I like that I have the smaller class sizes so the kids can have that one-on-one that they need.
Awesome. And I know we had a conversation before, and you mentioned that you are the only minority to have this academy here in our county. Now, based on research and based on statistics, it is said that one of the excuses that we always make, or one of the excuses that we allow to hold us back, is saying we are minorities and it's hard for a minority to achieve certain level, to get to a certain level, or to even achieve, you know, their goal. Now, were you ever at a breaking point during developing your business that you could have given up? And if so, what was your driving force to continue?
You know, of course, we all have those obstacles. I won't say breaking point where I wanted to stop,
Mhm.
but there were some hurdles that I needed to get over. And I can say my faith. I knew there was something missing. I knew what I needed to do
Right.
to get there. And I just had to have faith. And just when it felt like it was just too much coming down on me, you know, you have to take that Musa moment, you know,
Right.
and you step back and you say, wait a minute now. God gave me this purpose in my life for the children.
Mhm.
And he's never going to lead me where he's not there to help me get through it either.
Right.
You know, he's there for you. You just got to hold on and believe. And it's all about a mindset. Once you have that mindset that I'm not going to give up mindset, you can make it through just about anything. but my faith is what was my driving force to get through. And then to look back at my kids, and I'm raising my granddaughter, and just to look at her and saying, I can't give up. I still have this little girl that I have to take care of, you know. And I went through an incident with her when she was in school, where she was making A's and B's, and I'm asking the teacher, okay, well, is she doing the work at her level, at the grade level? And the teacher is telling me yes, but if she doesn't pass a test, then she'll be retained. And I felt that, I'm like, that's ludicrous. That doesn't make much sense. You're telling me she's doing the work, even some areas above her grade level, but if she doesn't pass a test, I just, I didn't.
And let me share an experience with that. So I have 3 children of my own as well, and my oldest son, during 2nd grade, he was on grade level. His grade A's is always S in that second, you know, but he always has he always earned his grade level. However, back then, and I'm not sure, you know, that was 22nd grade. He's almost 21, so that's been some years ago. So, and I remember receiving something at the last minute that he's going to be retained in 2nd grade. So
I remember that. That happened to me.
I'm asking why, and I have all his report cards. I'm asking, why would he be retained in 2nd grade? And it was explained to me they had the Dibbles test then. I'm not sure what they use now. They would have to read 95 words per minute for them to be able to pass. But he has, you know, while he was reading, if it didn't make sense to him, he would stop and start, because he just didn't understand. It's not about reading for comprehension during the test. It's just reading to make sure.
It's just words, just numbers, just say the word.
You know these words. And at that time, I was so angry with this school. I mean, I was livid about it. There was nothing I could do. So the only thing I said to myself, okay, he won't be retained. If he is retained, it won't be here. And, you know, what I had to do was pull him out. I actually took him out of the public school system and put him into the private school system, where there were, like I said, less classroom, more hands-on, for him to be able to gain the knowledge he needs to be able to get promoted. So, you know, you talked about the academy in your structure. It is very, very much appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I knew where you were going with that when you were talking about the test. You know, yes. I experienced that, and they're still doing that today, because my granddaughter is in the 5th grade.
Okay.
And me being an educator, and I'm extremely hands-on when it comes to her education. So I'm sitting with the teacher, and she's like, well, she has to read so many words a minute. I said, but what about her understanding what she's reading, or if she's comprehending what the story is all about? It was all about the number of words per minute.
Right.
And sadly to say, I had to train and teach her, if you don't know the word, just skip it and just start saying words.
Right.
Because if she would say "and" instead of "the" or "the," whichever way you want to pronounce it, she would go back. So if she's reading and it doesn't make sense, she would start over. And she wasn't passing that part until I said, well, she said, well, gee, Mom, that doesn't make much sense. I said, just say the word. She came back, the teacher said, oh, she read 121 words a minute. And I said, now I asked her, what did she read? She can't tell you. Comprehension wasn't, I mean, even down to they don't even teach the kids to write in cursive anymore. How are they going to give their signature? I have kindergartners that can write in cursive. Mm-hmm. And they're starting to read in cursive. All my kids that are 2nd grade and above can read in cursive. So you can't write in cursive and fool them, because they can read it.
Right.
And that's vitally important. You need to be able to sign your name, not print your name, but sign your name on legal documents.
We have to teach them that. And you and I know that, that there are certain things that probably, I'm not going to say would never be taught in school, but it's up to us parents to make sure our kids are aware and are taught.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I look at my students when they come to the academy, once their parents drop them off, they're my children now. They're my
Right.
babies.
Mm-hmm.
So my kids at school, they know to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and thank you, and may I have, or can I do this? We're
Right.
teaching them how to be respectful, not only to respect adults, but also to respect themselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, with the knowledge you have throughout, operating your businesses from ground up, with the knowledge you have, please give some advice to others who may be struggling with resilience to achieve their goals. Because sometimes I think we give up too quickly.
We do.
We give up a little
We
bit
do.
too quickly.
And they have to make sure that, that you're ready for jumping out there before you jump out into the waters. Because a lot of times, we have great ideas, and
Right.
we're highly intelligent people, but we may not plan it properly. And you need to do your SWOT analysis. You need to find out, what are your strengths and your weaknesses? What opportunities are there for you to do it? And who are your competitors? What are the threats that are out there? And when you're doing those things, you still have to make sure that you have that finance in place.
Correct.
And you need more than just 3 months worth of, if you're going to have your brick and mortar, you need more than just 3 months worth of rent, because you got to get it out there that people know that you are there. So
Absolutely.
I find that sometimes when I see businesses around, when they pop up, you can kind of say, they're not going to be here long, because of the area they chose for their business or the type of business that they chose. You have to really look and see. What I was trained and what I was taught is what's missing.
Right.
Find out what's missing, and
Fill that
that's what
gap.
you give them what's missing. What's the problem?
Right.
And you give them the solution to the problem. And sometimes you can look at your competitors and see what they're doing. And when you go into, let's say it's a store or a boutique, and you're like, ask yourself, what was missing when you went there that you can do to make your boutique even better?
Right.
And we need to understand, most importantly, it's personality too. It's hospitality, how you treat a person. Even if your stuff may be more expensive, because they had a good feeling coming in with you, you were nice to them, you helped them, you just had this beautiful personality, and you treated them like they were queens or kings, they're going to come back no matter what, because they like how they felt when they were in your presence.
Awesome. Now, is there anything else you can share with us?
Most importantly, like I said, just have faith.
Mm-hmm.
Have faith and plan, and you have to properly plan. You just can't jump out there on a whim. What I do that helps me too is I know what I have to do every day. I have my to-do list. You need to make sure you do your to-do list and put what's most importantly on the top. And even if you don't finish it all, don't get stressed or overwhelmed. You just take it and put it on your to-do list for the next day.
And you brought up a very good point in reference to see what your competitors are doing. Because I have another adventure in my mind that I want to execute. And the first thing that I did is I found someone who's already operating that capacity. And, sort of schedule, I would like to speak with you. And of course, now I'm getting some knowledge from him in reference to how to start, where to start, all the other teams that you need, to collaborate with to execute this business. And that was a very important point that you brought out.
Yes. So you just have to look at what they are doing, because all things are there to add a little something. You can improve on just about anything. That's how inventions come about. Some things are not new. It's just an improvement of what was already there.
Absolutely. Okay, so today, I really want to thank you. I do appreciate you taking your time out, your busy schedule. with everything that's going on around us, I know everybody's busy. Some of us are a little bit overwhelmed, but I want to really take time out to say thank you for sharing with us today, and hopefully we can do this again.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I just want to tell everybody that May is Brain Tumor Awareness Month. So wear your gray in May. You'll notice me that I do every month, every year in May, I wear gray every day. And that's in support of my daughter who is living with a brain tumor. So May is Brain Tumor Awareness Month.
And we will join you into wearing gray in support of your daughter for Brain Tumor Awareness Month.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.